Elon Musk has dared Humza Yousaf to sue him and hinted that his private communications might be made public. And so in this video, a brief overview as to why any such claim is likely to fail, with the assistance of US Attorney at Law Bryan Reo, whose details I'll link in the description below. So if you'd like a fresh alternative to the mainstream media, a brutal, ruthless analysis and application of law, please do consider subscribing to my channel, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos, and like the video so I reach a wider audience. And with that, let's get to the analysis. Welcome back to the channel. So if you would like the full version, every word of this analysis by Bryan Reo, read out and analysed and commented upon by me, then do consider joining this channel as a member with the button below. It should appear after you've subscribed, because that video, all 13 pages of it, will be coming in the coming days. But let's get to a brief overview for those of you that just have a few minutes. Whet your appetite and consider joining as a member to my channel, which will help and support me, by the way, to help keep bringing you these videos. So just as a brief recap, this all started out with Humza Yousaf branding Elon Musk, and I quote, as one of the most dangerous men on the planet, which I find a bit of a ridiculous statement to make. Even if you don't like Elon Musk, I still think it's a ridiculous statement to make. Elon Musk responded to say, quote, "He is super racist. Scotland gave him everything and he loathes white people. This is obvious because he's never complained about the race of any other country's leadership. There are over 200 countries in the world, most of whom have single race leadership. Why is he only attacking Scotland?" End quote. Now, in response to this, I understand Humza's lawyer, Anwar, said anyone who goes on social media, even if they own the platform and thinks that free speech is an absolute, whether in the UK or the USA, needs to think again. He says free speech carries responsibility, and if you break the law, there are consequences, as we've seen in recent days. Now, just pausing in the quote there, that seemed to me that he was hinting at criminal responsibility, which I pretty much debunked in one of my other videos, so that's not really going anywhere. So in this video, we're talking about the possibility of a civil claim, which some people have hinted online. Back to the quote from his lawyer. He says, Elon Musk has effectively painted a target on Humza Yousaf's back with his completely unacceptable, untrue and inflammatory comments. Elon Musk responded again to say, quote, "He's obviously super racist against white people. I dare that scumbag to sue me. Go ahead, make my day. Legal discovery will show that however big a racist he's been in public communications, he is vastly worse in private communications." So what kind of claim could he really be talking about here, other than the criminal stuff, which I've pretty much ruled out? I mean, you never say never, but pretty much ruled out in my previous video. The only other alternative could possibly be in defamation for the comments that Elon Musk has made. But here's a very brief overview of why that's likely to fail. And there's several reasons it's likely to fail. There are lots of hurdles, and I'll just give you a brief analysis of each of those. So first of all, there are jurisdictional challenges. Because Humza Yousaf being in the UK, Elon Musk being in the US, Texas, I believe, Humza would face significant hurdles in trying to enforce any judgment in the United States where Elon Musk resides. Now, the US courts are broadly unlikely to recognize a judgment from the UK against Elon Musk, especially for statements that were made in the US under the protection of the First Amendment, which provides, as I've mentioned before, strong safeguards for free speech. Even if Humza Yousaf were to obtain a judgment in the UK, if he brought an action here, enforcing that in the US would be extremely difficult, if not impossible. Then there are the legal grounds for defamation and what might have to overcome. Now, to succeed in defamation, Humza Yousaf would have to prove that his statement was a false statement of fact, not merely an opinion. Under American law, this is with the assistance of Bryan Reo. Again, the full version of this analysis will be available to members if you join below. But under American law, particularly in Texas, where I believe Elon Musk lives, statements of opinion, especially those made in the context of public discourse about public figures, are again generally protected speech. So his phrase of super racist is likely to be considered his opinion, not a statement of fact, and therefore not actionable as defamation. And there are different types of defamation suits again, which I'll go into in further details. Next, we consider anti-SLAPP law, which is strategic lawsuits against public participation, which in other words is bringing a lawsuit with the intention of silencing somebody. I've mentioned before that I have a claim against me going in the High Court at the moment, which I will come to in due course in full detail. And Texas also has anti-SLAPP legislation, which is designed to protect individuals from such lawsuits which are frivolous in nature, which are ultimately intended to silence their speech on public issues. Now, if such a claim for defamation were brought against Elon Musk in Texas, his legal team would undoubtedly raise the principles of anti-SLAPP legislation to have the case quickly dismissed. Now, with reference to different types of defamation, which again I'll come to in more detail in another video, but Humza would have to provide clear and specific evidence of defamation, which again is going to be extremely difficult given the nature of Elon Musk's comments. Now onto the standards for actual malice. As a public official, Humza Yousaf would need to prove that Elon Musk made this statement with actual malice, meaning that he knew the statement was false or acted with reckless regard as to the truth, as against, obviously, opinion. Now, this is obviously a high standard and threshold to meet, which would require substantial evidence that Elon Musk deliberately lied or was grossly irresponsible in making his statement, all the while again against it being just his opinion. But then we also come on to the personal, reputational and consequential risks to Humza Yousaf of considering bringing such a claim. If he were to proceed with such a lawsuit against Elon Musk, there's obviously significant risk of scrutiny of his personal and professional life through the discovery process, which is of course what Elon Musk was hinting at in those comments. Given the nature of the comments complained of and the rules and requirements for discovery, which is what we call disclosure here in the UK, it would obviously create an extremely in-depth analysis of countless pages of documents and messages and communications. Bryan Reo is of the view that even if Humza Yousaf were somehow to manage to navigate all of these procedural difficulties and hurdles by bringing the lawsuit and even surviving Elon Musk's attempts to have it thrown out under anti-SLAPP legislation and going through the process of the court's review to determine whether or not the statement is actually an actionable defamation statement and then the case going forward, it is entirely possible in Bryan Reo's view that summary judgment might be granted in favor of Elon Musk simply because Humza Yousaf is a public official and is unlikely to ever be able to show that Elon Musk made those statements with actual malice. That would obviously have to mean that Elon Musk knew the falsity of the statements at the time of the publication or made the publication with reckless disregard as to whether the statement was true. But one of the final and rather odd reasons that this claim is never likely to go forward is that one of the possible defenses to defamation is that the statement complained of was true. And that is the case in law both here in the UK and in the United States. And Bryan Reo confirms in his analysis that the truth is a complete defense in the US as well. So if Elon Musk were to assert the truth as a complete defense, then it would fall to the jury to determine whether or not Elon Musk's comments were true or substantially true, which would generate a rather odd and fairly unique set of circumstances to submit to a jury the question of, is the plaintiff actually racist as the defendant has alleged? Because juries are not typically asked to adjudicate those sorts of questions. So once again, for a much deeper dive into this analysis, consider joining as a member to my channel with the button below. Leaving your thoughts and comments, remember to subscribe, and as always, thank you for watching.